Hey there once again, YouTube. My name is Ben Ferraiuolo, and I'm an amateur seismologist who monitors volcanic hazard areas who hopes to make a career out of it someday. Real quick, I would like to clear something up. This right here is the Old Faithful webcam, and this is the Upper Geyser Basin where Old Faithful and many other geysers reside. I saw in a video recently that someone said air traffic over Norris or something like that is increasing, and that is something that would be interesting, yes, to watch out for. But they pointed to this webcam and said that this was Norris. I really hope that I heard them wrong, because there's no way in heck that you could see Norris from this webcam. Now, if you look on Google Earth real quick, let's go over. I just want to show you something. Let's pan out just real quick. As you can see, here's Yellowstone Lake. There's West Thumb Lake right there. Okay, notice I marked these areas. Upper Geyser Basin, Old Faithful. Look up here, Norris Geyser Basin, Steamboat Geyser. Now real quick, this is where the webcam is located. Right down here, this is the Upper Geyser Basin. And here is the Old Faithful Visitor Center. The YFT seismograph is right about here, and the webcam is just right here, right behind the boardwalk. And there's Old Faithful right there, right behind the boardwalk, right? So it's usually facing towards this direction, towards the northwest, that would be. And this is the Upper Geyser Basin. Now let's zoom all the way out. Actually, let's do something else. So here's Old Faithful, right, where the webcam is. Let's go back. Let's go to Steamboat Geyser real quick. Okay, this is the Wikipedia page for Steamboat Geyser. Notice that? Now right here, I have the coordinates. Let's copy that, and let's go into Google. So if this is showing the Norris Geyser Basin, or is near the Norris Geyser Basin, then we should see Steamboat, right? You should be able to see it in the background, right? Well, check this out. Let me enter the coordinates real quick and press search. Here we go to Steamboat Geyser. Look at how far north it is, guys. Look at how far north that is. Look at that. Here is Steamboat Geyser. Right here. Right here. Now, when we zoom out real quick, we see the Norris Geyser Basin, which I marked, and also Norris Geyser Basin Museum. So we know for sure this is the Norris Geyser Basin, but let me zoom out and just show you how far away it is from the Upper Geyser Basin. Just so everybody on the internet understands that the Upper Geyser Basin is far away. Look at that. Guys, look at that distance. You cannot see Norris Geyser Basin at all in this area. At all, guys. I'm just letting you know. So if you see that on other videos and they point to the webcam saying, oh, there's Norris, that's not Norris. Look at how far the distance is. Let's check the ruler real quick. For miles, it is about, and I don't know why I did that. It is about 19 miles. So let's say about 20 miles to the northeast. Yeah, that's pretty far, guys. That's pretty far. Now, I have heard this misinformation repeated on multiple channels, and I really just sit here and scratch my head wondering why it is so important for people to want to believe that you could see Norris from the Old Faithful webcam. To me, it doesn't matter, really. Google Earth here just proved the two basins are far away from each other, about 20 miles. Oh well, sadly, plain good old truth is invisible to a lot of people, even when it slaps them in the face. Now, I do have my own website, which I will talk about in this video, and a link is on screen here, and is also in the description box below under my email address. It contains a lot of goodies, so please go check that out. I have made some new additions that I will talk about in this video at the end. First off, please visit Scott's new channel called the NW Geology Guy. He has uploaded some really good content, so please go and help his channel grow. Now, I have recently been talking about Yellowstone a lot, since that is the pinnacle of why I do what I do, and the Colorado Volcano .0, but about 5 days ago, Newberry caldera in Oregon saw some very interesting low-frequency activity. Newberry was confirmed by PNSN to have seen 2 low-frequency events just on December 13th alone. This was confirmed by PNSN, the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. A link to their website should be below in the description box under resources. During 2018, Newberry caldera saw far more low-frequency events than any other volcano in the Cascade Range. Could that mean business is as usual, or does this mean that this caldera is preparing for another eruption? Only time will tell. Please join me in monitoring this area. My website can teach you how to do that. So how do I know that these were low-frequency events? Well, the characteristics of these events are indicative of low-frequency events caused by the movement of subsurface magma. Now, this can happen at volcanoes worldwide without there being an eruption, but that doesn't make these events any less important. In fact, I believe Newberry could be growing restless, but volcanoes always tend to surprise us. However, if these events were seen and confirmed at Yellowstone, everyone would be going bonkers. In this video, I will simply show the data for the most recent low-frequency seismicity at Newberry, and we'll also talk about numerous portions of my website at the end of the video. Before I start, there has been another burst in seismicity at the West Thumb Lake area. Remember, I already did a blog post and video about the most recent rapid-fire event that took place in virtually the same area and also occurred only about 4 days ago or so. Let's grab some of the data from IRIS real quick to the closest seismic station to these earthquakes. Station YLT is most likely the closest, so we will use that station. Here we are at the IRIS Data Select URL Builder. I want the past day's data, including the most recent as of 1:15 p.m. Pacific Time, December 18, 2018. So first we'll do WY is the network code, YLT is the station code, 01 is the location code, EHC is already up there for the channel code. Let's see, the 17th, let's do the 18th, which was, yep, okay. And then let's just top it off to the 19th, just to get the most recent data. Let's see, 12/18, 12/19, yep, we got it. Now all you got to do is click the link, and then it'll automatically download it. Here we are in the seismic program Swarm. Let's open file. Let's try to find the file that I just downloaded. Here it is. Let's open it. Notice the source will appear on the left. You just double click it and it opens the helicorder. Yep, it's that easy to find, guys. So again, this is station YLT for the most recent seismicity at West Thumb Lake. Now, about 4 or 5 days ago, we did see a rapid fire event that saw almost about 68 very tiny earthquakes. Some of them weren't that tiny. Some of them were about 1.4 magnitude, but a lot of them were tiny. But they occurred in such rapid pace. I believe the fastest pace one was about 6 earthquakes in 50 seconds. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. All right, so let's check the settings real quick. Undo persistent rescale. Do not need a filter since it's short period. Vertical, and let's check this out. Let me pan this up just a little bit, just to make sure it's all in there. There we go. All right, let's look at here. Mid-range frequencies for the first one, going up to about 2,000 amplitude count or so. Then we see a smaller one going to about 400 amplitude count. Then we see right here, right before this earthquake appears, we see some, we see some emergent activity. Let's see right here. Emergent means that it's slow building. Let's check the frequencies to this. Mid-range frequencies, but let's check the spectral plot. It looks like the dominant frequencies are between 2 Hertz and 4 Hertz. So it's not really a low frequency event, guys. It's definitely higher frequency content than what we were seeing at Newberry, but still very interesting. Look at the end tail of this earthquake. Look at how long that lasts, guys. Look at that. Very interesting. This one goes to about, I'm going to say, 3,200 amplitude count. Wow, very interesting earthquake. Look at that. Okay, and then there's another one. Very long codas. Not too long. I've seen longer, but still. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, I'm not seeing any low-frequency background tremor, which is a good sign. If you see earthquake swarms in conjunction with low-frequency background tremor appearing on multiple neighboring stations, that would be the time to worry. We had a few down here. So this is just like many of the other West Thumb rapid succession events, but it doesn't seem like it's that bad. It doesn't seem like it's that bad. There's just like 1, 2, I'm going to say maybe 3, 4, 5. I'm just doing an approximate guess, guys. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 maybe. And then, let's see, another one right there, I believe. So 13. And then there's 14. And then there's 15. And 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So not that many. Definitely not as close to how many that we saw about 4 or 5 days ago. And they all, notice how they all have mid-range frequencies. Look at that. Okay. Some of them have some long tails, guys. Very interesting. So we did see an increase in seismicity here. So why is seismicity increasing in this area? And why does seismicity in the West Thumb area usually happen in a rapid-fire sequence? Could there be a new hydrothermal system forming? I don't know, but that is one of my theories for this area. Moving back to the subject of low-frequency earthquakes in Washington and Oregon, how do I know that the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network located low-frequency events related to magma movement? Well, first I would like you to come to this page here. It is the custom search page for the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network catalog. This will show us what we need. I will leave a link to this custom search page in the description box below right under the link to Scott's new channel. So first we're going to select all magnitudes. Dates, we're going to do 2000-01-01 for January 1st, 2000. And then today, which is the 19th, we'll set that as the end parameters. Go down. The next thing you click is, okay, that's already all. But now notice event type. Uncheck all, and it'll put this down. And why is that unchecked? That's weird. I do not want that. See, local events, I do not want. I do not want explosions. I do not want unknown. I do not want region. I want low frequency. That is the only one to check for what we're trying to do right now, guys. Notice it says low frequency right there. Exclude Mount St. Helens events. I'm not going to do that, but you can exclude Mount St. Helens events since people already know it's pretty much an active volcano. So, advanced search parameters, nothing right now. No, so you could just keep that checked as all. Sort by date, magnitude, longitude. All right, so that's it. So yeah, just make sure magnitude is checked by all. Dates is 2000 to January 1st, the date is 2000, 1/1/2018. 12/19. Then you go down. The next thing you uncheck actually, is event type, and only make sure low frequency is checked. So once we do that, let's press query. Now this will show us all the low frequency events from January 1st, 2000 to December 18th, 2018, or December 19th, actually, sorry. Now again, once you are done setting the parameters, you gotta press query. Notice how there have been 141 low-frequency events in Washington and Oregon since January 1st, 2000. Also notice how the most recent low-frequency event occurred just about 5 days ago or so at Newberry Caldera in Oregon on December 13th. Notice that, 12/13, 12/13, both on 2018, both at Newberry Caldera. Only within about 3 minutes of each other. Notice the last time this happened was on, May 1st. Happened on May 1st, and was also about 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, space of a time. And also, check this out. So the first one in May 1st occurred, and it was a 0.9 kilometers away from Newberry. And then one occurred a little bit farther away from Newberry, just 3 minutes later. Notice this. Occurred in the same location right about here for December 13th, and then 3 minutes later occurred about a little bit farther away from Newberry. So it seems like these two right here, as part of this episode, are connected to this right here. It's very interesting because it seems like the same exact pattern. Very interesting. Now, I will show the data for that in just a second, for these two recent low-frequency events. Just a second, but I just wanted to educate you guys real quick about the Newberry Caldera, if you haven't already heard about this large volcano in Central Oregon. Just for the record, there are some absolutely amazing publications about this volcano. So please go to publications right here. I won't show that now, but please go here to learn more about this volcano's history. Now let me real quick just read about the Newberry volcano, and I will then get into the seismic data for the recent low-frequency events that took place. As of 2018, Newberry Caldera has seen the highest low-frequency earthquake count in the Cascade Range, with a total of 6 reported low-frequency events for 2018, and also 6 low-frequency events reported for 2017. However, know that not all of the low-frequency events were reported. You will see what I mean in just a bit. And actually, I show that on my website under seismic events, under the Cascade Volcanoes low frequency events. So go check that out right now if you want. Now, Newberry Volcano is the largest volcano in the Cascades volcanic arc. Yeah, largest volcano, guys. And almost nobody's ever heard of it. And it covers an area the size of Rhode Island. Unlike familiar cone-shaped Cascades volcanoes, which would also be stratovolcanoes, Newberry was built into the shape of a broad shield by repeated eruptions over the past 400,000 years, supposedly. Throughout its eruptive history, Newberry has produced ash and tephra pyroclastic flows and lava flows that range in composition from basalt to rhyolite. About 75,000 years ago, supposedly, a major explosive eruption and collapse event created a large volcanic depression at its summit that now hosts two caldera lakes. Newberry last erupted 1,300 years ago, and present-day hot springs and geologically young lava flows indicate that it is still an active volcano. Wow, guys. Threat potential, very high. Yeah. Very high threat potential, guys. That is the highest threat potential out of all the volcanoes. I mean, you can't get higher than very high. And so if you just look real quick, here are the two caldera lakes. Notice that. It almost looks like a gun shooting off into the sky, almost. It's huge. And if you can see right here, right there, that is an old lava flow. And here's a picture real quick of Newberry caldera. Notice the caldera rim right there, caldera lake, and another caldera lake. And there is a cone right in the middle of the two caldera lakes. And this is a lava flow right here, guys. Look at that. It's very thick. And I bet you anything this was very slow moving. But this is a very potentially dangerous volcano, and it's massive, guys. It is huge. So it wouldn't be good if this thing erupted. So we need to watch this volcano very closely, guys. So I just downloaded the seismic data for these two low-frequency events for the two closest seismic stations that I could find. The first one was a 1.0 at supposedly 1.4 kilometers in depth. And the one right before that was a 0.9, much shallower, at about negative 1.1 kilometers in depth. Remember, 0.0 kilometers is sea level. So whenever you see a depth, you always got to add the local elevation right above the epicenter to the depth. Because things can still be in negative depth, but still be occurring right under the ground. But still, it's probably very shallow. Very, very shallow. So there is some magma moving around down there, guys. So let's go to Swarm real quick. Let's click off of that. Close file. Now let's open the two that I just downloaded right here. CPCO and NN19. Here is CPCO. We will do this one first. Remember, the 1.0 and the 0.9 occurred within just a few minutes of each other at 2:20 a.m. Pacific time, so in the middle of the morning, but the UTC, so that'd be 10:20 UTC. All right, so let's do this. Let's go back. Let's turn persistent rescale off, but do a high pass 0.7 hertz filter, just to filter out the annoying background activity. Okay, so during this time period, check this out. Not really seeing much of a low frequency background tremor. There's something right there. And remember, it's about 10:20 UTC. Here's 10:13, just prior. And let's see, we're going through, just prior, there was an increase right here. Check this out. They did not report this, but this was not an earthquake. This was a tremor. This is a low-frequency tremor, and you can tell because it slowly emerges and slowly dissipates. And then, boom, there's a low-frequency earthquake right here. This is also shown on my website in the Seismic Events drop-down menu under the Cascade Volcanoes Low-Frequency Events 2017-2018. So, that's very interesting. Look at that. Now, I really would not be happy if I saw this at Yellowstone. Remember, whenever magma causes something, usually seismicity caused by magma itself or the free flow of magma just under the surface, usually it's below 5 hertz, guys. Don't listen to the people that say, oh yeah, dude, everything will turn red. Everything will turn red. It looks like blood. It looks like you're gonna die. No, that is not true. If you use the harmonic and volcanic tremor examples from the Veniaminoff volcano in Alaska, you will notice, and that's typical volcanic and harmonic tremor that's occurring up there. Typical. Long period, lasts days, months, years, whatever. But, you know, another one they will show is a harmonic tremor that's about below 5 hertz and raises to about 10 hertz and then spikes. It kind of goes up at an angle, and then there's an eruption. But see, the thing is there's harmonic and volcanic tremor sequences that occur months and months and months prior to an eruption. I mean, usually those higher frequency harmonic and volcanic tremor that occurs right before an eruption usually only occurs right before an eruption. PNSN calls it a, what did they call it? They called it an upwards gliding tremor, and which is related to harmonic and volcanic tremor, but those only really occur right prior to an eruption, guys. But look at this. I'm not saying Newberry's going to erupt. I'm not saying that at all. But it is very interesting, and this is definitely caused by magma. There's nothing else down there that can really cause an event such as this with dominant low frequencies. Notice how barely even goes above 5 hertz. Let's look at the spectral plot real quick. Notice the dominant frequency here. The top dominant frequency is 1.92 hertz, so about 2 hertz. Yeah. And the second dominant frequency is about 1.61 hertz. So about halfway between 1 and 2. This is a low frequency event. This is a low frequency earthquake. This is what you should watch out for when monitoring volcanoes. Now the second one occurred just a few minutes later. They did not report this one, I believe. Look at that. That looks more like, I'm not saying harmonic tremor, guys, because it doesn't look, usually harmonic tremor, the spacings of the waveforms are very uniform. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know what that is, but it's, okay. And then, oh, here's the other one. Here it is, right here. Here's the second low frequency earthquake reported by PNSN. Notice that. Notice the, whoops. Okay. Notice below 5 hertz once again. This is where to watch out for. Usually below the 5 hertz line is where I look for everything. Alright, and then let's go here. Log power off. Again, let's see, dominant frequency is about 1.87 hertz, so around 2 hertz once again. And this was shallow. This one was the I believe this was the 1.1 kilometers in depth, and this one was the one that occurred just right at the surface, pretty much. So let's go to NN19 real quick. NN19 in the UW network. That is definitely surface noise. Yep, that's not a low frequency event. Definitely some type of surface noise, it looks like. Turn persistent rescale off. We do not have to add a filter since this pretty much doesn't show much below 1 hertz. Let's go up here. They are, let's see, what's this? I have no idea what that is. Whoa, very interesting. Okay, so you can see something was building right here, just like we saw before. Boom! Here is the low frequency earthquake, the first one, which I believe was reported to be a 0.9 at negative 1.1 kilometers in depth. I'm pretty sure. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because we just looked at them. And here's that event that occurred in the middle, so it definitely was related to this. Definitely had some magma moving around down there, guys. Woo! Very cool. Let's look at the spectrogram. Goes to about 5 hertz. Notice once again. Let's just go through here real quick. As we're going through, you can see it starts, it emerges, slowly emerges. Boom. There's the low frequency earthquake right there. Dies down a little bit. Then there's another event in the middle. And then it starts to increase a little bit again, and boom! There's another low frequency earthquake. And then it just dies down. And it pretty much goes away, and there's nothing since then. Now remember, this was on December 13th. Let's see what this is. Oh, very interesting. Weird. Huh. So yeah, this was on December 13th, so not too long ago, guys. So what's going on with Newberry caldera? Why has Newberry caldera been seeing low-frequency events so much more lately? This could, of course, be normal background seismicity, but I think it is best to watch the volcano closely in the coming years, just in case. It wouldn't hurt. Now, real quick, I'm going to show some of the newer content on my website. Some of you have probably already seen it, and some of you may have not. I just want to give people a brush up on the content of my website for those who have not seen it yet. Again, there's that event right in the middle. Very cool. Very interesting, guys. So Newberry is getting kind of active. So here we are at my website. Here is the home page. I try to spruce it up a little bit, change it up. Here's my Seismo blog. You guys should check that just as much as my YouTube channel. I put out a bunch of content there, but I also do put out a bunch of content on many other pages too. Let's go to Seismic Archive real quick. So Seismic Archive right here is one of the first pages on my website. Ever wonder why some seismic websites do not keep an archive of seismic images, also known as helicorders or webicorders? And do you get frustrated that you cannot see any charts for any given area in the United States or even the world? Well, do not fret, guys. This page here teaches you just how simple it is to find the source of data you want to create your own heliquarters. It sounds very difficult at first, but it's actually pretty dang easy. All you do is read my page here, and there is an example at the bottom. Once you know the codes for the station that you want, all you do is just enter it into the IRIS website, download the file, and open it in Swarm. Once opened in Swarm, you just double-click the station on the left, and voila! Your very own heliquarter. This is how I am able to find obscure and hidden data for stations that no one even knew existed. Thank God for IRIS, guys. Now let's next go to the How-To drop-down menu. Once at the How-To drop-down menu, click the first link. This will teach you how to read online webicorders and heliquarters, how to read spectrograms, how to read waveform seismogram plots, how to read frequency spectral analysis plots, and amplitude scaling and amplitude clipping. It's a pretty long page, has a bunch of information on here, and I do show you multiple things, including how if you keep the size of a chart the same, but increase the amount of data shown in the chart. For example, this has much more data than this, and this is the same exact earthquake, and this is me zooming out on the program Swarm. I did this to show you that the UNAVCO spectrograms are not that great because they show in about this size of an image. Actually, they show 24 hours, and right here we only see about 25 minutes, 30 minutes maybe. So yeah, that's why I don't use them. I just generate my own spectrograms now, guys. It's way better. And I also show you how you can manipulate the frequencies on the side. Notice how it says frequency hertz, just like the UNAVCO spectrograms say frequency hertz on the left. That means frequency in hertz, guys. Notice how it says 25 right here. Notice how when I put it down to 10, everything looks a lot different. But the UNAVCO spectrograms don't even show 2 hertz. They only show a maximum frequency of 0.5 hertz, which is like way down here. So I don't know why. I don't know why they just don't give you the ability to change the spectrograms and make them look the way you want. Either zoom them out or zoom them in. They should add that tool on their website. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would like that. And then I show how the different power ranges are affected on the spectrogram for Swarm. This here proves that the color range that you see on a spectrogram is power. Yes, strength, power. It is not gas. It's not the depth of anything. Guys, it's power. And really, it's a lot better than what you think it is. Trust me, I love this stuff, guys. Here's seismogram plot. Notice, showing this plot, I'm zooming out, showing you the effects of what it does. Just to zoom out just a little bit, look at this. Look at how spread out that is here. From here to here is 10 seconds. From one line right here to this line right here is 10 seconds. Now go down here. From this line to this line is about 4 minutes. Notice the drastic difference, guys. So yeah, this teaches you a bunch of different stuff. Next in the How-To drop-down menu is how to use JAMA size. And it is my JAMA size video. I rarely use JAMA size anymore, so let's go to how to use Swarm. Now this page is really good if you want to use the Swarm software, which I use every single day. You saw me use it in this video today. So please go check this out, guys. It shows you a lot. And then also teaches you about amplitude scaled clipping. Remember the red marks? See these red marks that you see on the online charts sometimes on isthisthing.org or whatever? These are amplitude clippings. No, the data wasn't removed. No, it's not earthquake marks. It's any amplitude, even surface noise, even wind, cars, earthquakes, volcanic tremor, harmonic tremor, anything that goes beyond a certain amplitude count usually is cut. But it only does that for the heliquarters. It doesn't actually cut the data, guys. The data is still all there. Let's go to how to. How to use waves goes automatically to the PDF file, the user manual for waves, since I'm still learning how to use this. How to download seismic data is kind of similar to the seismic archive page that I just showed a minute ago. But you should check this out. This definitely helps you find data and understand why these 4 codes are very important. So go check this out. It's a lot of information to take in, but guess what? Once you learn it, it is so easy. So easy, guys. I don't even have to think about it anymore. And then I show you how to understand UTC. I tried to give a good explanation of what UTC is and how to understand it, but it's still kind of confusing, guys. But yeah, you could just go there, how to understand UTC. Now let's go to the seismic events drop-down menu. Steamboat Geyser 2019 doesn't have anything yet because obviously it's not 2019. Steamboat Geyser 2018, let's go there just real quick. This will contain every single plot for every single steamboat eruption since March 15th of 2018. Notice here's the first eruption of 2018 right here. There it is, guys. I show the seismogram, spectrogram, spectral plots, and the heliquarter plots. And notice I have every single one, except I do not have the seismic plots for the most recent eruption, since seismic station Y and M was offline during this time period. But you can see this is the steamboat spike. This is 1 day time period, and this is a gallery. So you can come in here and click the image and enlarge it. Here's a steamboat eruption. Remember, be careful you're not seeing precipitation spikes. Notice there were no eruptions at all. An eruption will always cause this 90-degree, almost perfectly straight up and down spike. It will almost always cause that. This is not an eruption. This is not an eruption. This is not an eruption. Sure, it could put off a little water here and there, but the main eruptions, the ones that we count, the water eruptions, let's see, it shows November 28th, which was confirmed, December 8th, which was confirmed, and then the most recent, you can barely see it right on the edge, but it's not actually cut off. You can actually see it right there. Okay, so go to the seismic events drop-down menu, Yellowstone Super Volcano. I do not have any content in there just yet, but I am going to be adding stuff. 2008-2009 Yellowstone Lake. Now this will show a bunch of seismic plots from the Yellowstone Lake dike intrusion that occurred December 2008 to January 2009. I talk about it, show the earthquake swarm real quick, the migration of the earthquakes real quick, and then I show the largest earthquake, which was theorized to be caused by an explosion. Like a magmatic explosion, I guess? Like literally, the ground just burst. I don't know if it burst right at the surface, but it was close, guys. Yeah, this was definitely a very concerning swarm. And I'm not the one that said it was an explosion, guys. That's what the professionals are saying. Then I have the heliquarter plots for December 27th through the 30th, the main sequence of the swarm. Remember, the most concerning part of the earthquake swarm was on December 29th, 2008. Strongest sequences of harmonic and volcanic tremor during the dike intrusion event. Notice the dominant low frequencies that are surprisingly kind of low. Look at that. Very interesting. Now let's go down real quick. Here is, more plots. Low frequency earthquakes indicative of strong magmatic resonance. Now remember, these are all in slideshow format, so you could pause it or go through the images whenever you want. Check out these low frequency events, guys. Look at that. Look at that. They're way more strange than the low frequency events we were seeing at Newberry, huh? Check that out. And then I have another set of plots right down here. Look at that, guys. Wow. Yeah, it was a very concerning earthquake swarm, guys. Notice how, again, it's below 5 hertz. That is the warning area. I always look for everything below 5 hertz. Because usually magma itself causes events below 5 hertz. But we see these are very low. About 1 hertz and also at about 0.8 hertz almost. So, very interesting. And then a few examples of hybrid and VT earthquakes during this swarm. So, it has a bunch of plots, guys. I'm probably going to say maybe 50, 60 plots. Very cool. All right, Cascade volcanoes, low frequency events, 2017 through 2018. Check this out. Again, in slideshow format, I show the data from the 2 closest stations to each low frequency event confirmed by PNSN. This will slowly be added to over time. This was the first earthquake that I showed in this video, and I also showed the second one. And here it is right here. All right. And then here we have some more, and some more, and some more, and some more. All of these were confirmed by PNSN to be low-frequency events. Most of them so far have been at Newberry Caldera in Oregon. This one looks more like a harmonic tremor sequence to me. It was unreported but did show on surrounding stations. Go down to seismic events, drop down menu again, long distance microseisms. I will try to update this next time it happens. I believe it happened one more time, but there's this very strange vibration that was being felt all over the United States, guys. It went from one coast to another. And you can see the increase in background microseisms. And they had a dominant frequency range of about 0.1 to 0.2 hertz. And you can see that here, maximum frequency range of 10 hertz. And you can see that all the way down there. Pretty strong, guys. It was shown pretty strong. And then it was also shown on the tilt plots. I'm unsure why these images are so small on the slideshow format. I'm sorry about that, but if you actually need the bigger images, then just let me know and I'll get them to you. Seismic events, go to United States. And I have this is in the blog format, actually. Magnitude 7.0 in Alaska, and that's it right now. I will add to this as much as I can, but remember this is mainly for fun. So I do have the magnitude 7.0 in Alaska that occurred on November 30th. And then let's go back to seismic events. East Coast, USA. I do have, let's see, I do have one event here too, magnitude 3.9 off the East Coast on August 6th, 2018. So not too long ago. It was a very interesting earthquake, very odd. And let me go back to seismic events and go to world. This one probably won't have as many plots, but first I talk about the Mayotte event. That will always be at the top of this page, always, because it was just a crazy event, guys. And I show the plots, different filters, and from different stations around the world. This is the Mayotte event that stumped seismologists, and they still don't know what it was. They're saying it could be some type of magma chamber collapse. Personally, I do not believe that. I don't know. I don't know. It's very odd. Very odd. And then I also have the Japan mega earthquake with just, let's see, MCID, ERM, HRV. So I have 3 locations. Yep. And then I also have the magnitude 8.8 in Chile that occurred in 2010. And I show the plots for a few stations for that as well. And that's it for the seismic events drop-down menu. Notice I have a lot of plots here already, guys. So come play around with this stuff. It's very cool. Crazy amount of plots that took a good amount of time to do. Now, seismic software section has the download link and any information pertaining to the download itself for programs Swarm, Waves, and JAMA size. But let's real quick go, let me try to pan this over real quick. Go to more drop-down menu, go to network coverage help. Now this page has most of the networks covered by IRIS and the NCEDC. I made this to assist myself, but it has helped others as well, as far as I know. I list the location first, for example, Yellowstone, Washington State, Maine, Tennessee, and I then list any networks that have stations in that specific area. Some networks, though, have stations all across the country or even the world. Go back to the more drop-down menu, go to earthquake examples, just real quick. Okay. Now, this page is the earthquake example page. The seismic event pages I just showed can be used as an example page as well, but this page here is mostly filled with examples created by other people. I have a few plots generated by myself here, but if it was not generated by myself, I always leave a link to the source. This was meant to be a simple example page meant to get beginners on their feet. Remember, if there are any mistakes or there's anything I should add to my website, please feel free to comment on this video or email me. So let's go to earthquake statistics right here. This drop-down menu, earthquake statistics, contains yearly earthquake report statistics for Yellowstone caldera, Long Valley caldera, Newberry caldera, Mount Rainier, and the Cascades subduction zone. I show the counts for each year, but also I update this at the end of each year with an updated bar chart. For example, you could tell by using the bar chart that seismicity has been increasing for Long Valley caldera since the year 2000, but has been spiking majorly over the past few years. Right here, links, is simply the page where I put every single resource I use. If there is a link missing or you know of something I should add, please let me know. And about me is obviously about me and my interests and what I believe in. More accurately, who I believe in. Also, contact is my contact information and what you should do if you would like to request any seismic images or seismic data from me. Now this old page right here, Seismic Image Archive for Lassen Peak, Long Valley, Newberry, Mount Hood, Rainier, and use station locations. This is the old page, and it's no longer being updated. I used to have my own seismic image archive for helicorders for multiple volcanoes, but it became far too time-consuming and was a waste of time when people could just generate their own seismic images in the blink of an eye. That is why I created this link right here, Seismic Archive, that teaches you how to do that. It's very quick and very simple, very easy to do. Why won't it snow like that here? It's still raining here, and it's at the end of December here in Washington State. Man, we just never get any snow anymore. We used to get a lot of snow. It's so weird because it's been getting warmer every single winter, but in the Sahara Desert and like deserts that literally never see snow where it's impossible, they're seeing snow. It's very confusing. Something's going on with the Earth, guys. I don't know. I've always thought something's wrong with the sun and it's doing something to the Earth, but I've always thought that for years and years and years. So here we are back at the Old Faithful webcam, which points towards Old Faithful in the Upper Geyser Basin, not Norris. If you ever question that, just look at a map real quick. So West Thumb Lake just saw another burst in rapid-fire earthquakes just like it did 5 days ago. Also, Steamboat Geyser did see its 31st eruption on December 17th, but sadly Y and M was offline during this time period, so I missed the plot. However, the stream gauge did show a near-perfect 90-degree spike, so the YVO did confirm that Steamboat erupted for a 31st time. Remember, Steamboat eruptions will only create a near-perfect straight spike, guys. The last eruption prior to this, according to seismic data and water data, was on December 8th. Also, Newberry Caldera has been seeing some interesting low-frequency seismicity the past year or so. Remember, if you want to see them, go to the Seismic Events drop-down menu and go to the Cascade Volcanoes Low-Frequency Events 2017 to 2018. Now, the majority of the low-frequency events since the year 2000 did occur under Cascade Range volcanoes, but there were a few stragglers in southern Oregon that didn't really occur right near a volcano, so I thought that was weird, but I'll look at that at another time. Please join me in accurately and responsibly monitoring volcanic and tectonic hazard areas. Once again, my website does help you do that. I hope more people start to use seismic analysis programs much like Swarm and Waves. I rarely use JAMA Size anymore because I believe Swarm is way better, gives you so many more options, and really, I did not learn much until I started using Swarm. Swarm is the number one thing that has helped me learn so much about seismology. And remember, when I first started doing my videos, I was so wrong about like everything, guys. Everything was flipped on its head when I started using these programs and actually looking at the data. You want to know why? Because I stopped listening to YouTube channels. I stopped watching YouTube videos. Well, I still watch them, of course, here and there. But the thing is I stopped using YouTube for my information, really. I now looked at the data, and once I started just looking at the data and not listening to USGS and not listening to YouTube, but just looking at the data itself, which doesn't lie, I then found out so many different things are opposite of what I thought. Everything kind of flipped on its head. So, I will be back soon, guys. But if I'm not back before Christmas, I hope you have a wonderful, Merry Christmas. Remember the birth of Jesus Christ. God bless and be safe. And remember, the truth is considered hate or fear to those who hate or fear the truth. Ben Ferraiuolo, signing off. See you later, guys.